And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes.
All right, welcome to the show. Thanks for spending some time with us here. Greatly appreciate everybody that supports our consumer quarterback show. We're powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Realty. As you know, my wife Lindsay and I own a top 100 ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay. We feature all of our listings on air. It's part of a strategy that helps us sell faster for more money with less headaches. So buying, selling, investing, refinancing. Now, we also have 80 different categories of awesome business owners, attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, account representatives with all the best companies in Tampa Bay. So no matter what you're facing, we want you to think of us as your local Google. Don't go to Google and plug in those numbers. Just think of the Consumer Quarterback Show. We'd love to connect you with our expert contributors. We got blue collar, white collar companies. Lots of great companies that can help you save time and money when it comes to buying your buying decisions here in Tampa Bay, help you avoid a lot of the commission-based advice that's so prevalent here as well that you see everywhere. Almost everywhere you look, you got commission breath flying at you, right? So we've got attorney Jason Kobal coming on today. We're going to talk about his recent rideshare cases. Also, he's talking about the blurred line between a W-2 and an independent contractor. So we'll talk about that. Criminal defense attorney as well, Anthony Rickman, on the Consumer Quarterback Show today. He's going to talk about new laws that recently have gone into effect and how that may affect you. Some of the different laws that we are looking at as well. So we'll talk with Jason Kobal here in just a moment. Before we do, we always feature our real estate listings on air. And we like to help our sellers sell faster for more money. If you're thinking about selling a property, that is our specialty. That's our expertise. We'd love to help you. Been featured in Florida Realtor Magazine multiple times. And our highest duty is to get our sellers that maximum exposure and help you sell faster for more money in the least amount of time. So we've got a property here at 118 Lakeshore Drive East in Palm Harbor. This one's on Lake Tarpon. Gorgeous home, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 1,740 square feet. You got a quarter-acre lot, and you have a boat dock, boat lift, jet ski lift, and 180-degree views overlooking Lake Tarpon right there in Palm Harbor. Great opportunity to buy real estate right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. You're just minutes from the award-winning Innisbrook Golf Resort, home of the Valspar Championship as well. That's just right across US 19 there. 118 Lakeshore Drive East, Palm Harbor, Florida. Another one of our beautiful real estate listings from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Realty. We have the Weeki Wachee Marina for sale as well. This one's right at $3.7 million ask price. Commercial properties, vacant land, residential. We sell all of the above. Now, this is Weeki Wachee Marina, location 7154 Shoreline Boulevard. You have 3/4 of an acre lot. You are directly on access to the Weeki Wachee River, access to the Gulf as well. This is a multi-use property. You've got multiple income streams coming in from John boat, kayak, paddleboard rentals, dock space for commercial vessels. You also have a spacious retail building that offers fishing and boating supplies, plus an on-site ice machine generating income. You have also a rentable space that could either be rented for maybe a short-term rental, or maybe you have a live-in manager, an on-site manager. Also, authorized Suzuki servicer, provider for that established motor boat repair business as well. Great opportunity, just minutes from Hernando Beach and the Gulf, 7154 Shoreline Boulevard, Weeki Wachee, Florida. We have the marina for sale, the Weeki Wachee Marina for sale, and you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
And a quick shout out to our friend at Lee's Royal Services. Lee'sRoyalServices.com does a great job cleaning our real estate properties, residential and commercial properties. Lee'sRoyalServices.com. Check them out online. That's on the interior of the home. On the exterior, talk to our friend Ramin. He's the owner of Heights Soft Wash, pressure washing company here in Tampa Bay. HeightsSoftWash.com. Taking clean to new heights. That's HeightsSoftWash.com. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, we're going to the phone lines here. We got attorney Jason Kobal back on the program. Jason, seems like you've been busy out there, man.
Yes, I have. When you have a career and, you want to be able to have some achievements, so you can look back and say, okay, and I'm really proud of achieving this, that, or the other thing. So I personally, I have a big three. I'm very excited that last week I was able to conclude a case that is definitely in my big three of achievements. One of the rideshare companies, I don't know if you've noticed on TV, you'll see a lot of class action talk about rideshare companies where individuals, they request a ride from the rideshare company, they get picked up by somebody who's got a fraudulent account, or they have a lot of different strategies they use, but people are getting sexually abused and robbed and drugged and all kinds of horrific things that are happening from rideshare companies. And for years, for about a decade, they knew this was going on, and they were protected from being sued as the entity, as their rideshare company, because of independent contractor law. And that's what I wanted to talk a little bit about today.
Wow, yeah. So how does that happen? How does a company that big get these protections? It kind of reminds you of what is it? This Section 230 with the internet-based companies, right?
Exactly. Yes, like that. That's a great example. Another one, even going further back. I remember in law school we used to talk about piercing the corporate veil. How, like, for a corporation, it's almost like a separate entity or a person themselves. You can't go after the individual owners or, in a corporation, or the shareholders. They're protected. So it would take horrific conduct to pierce the corporate veil. And this is very similar. So for years, they were getting away with this happening and not having to pay compensation for it because of the protection from the independent contractor. And what a lot of people don't realize is it's not easy to be an independent contractor. You truly have to be independent. And I would say 75% of the time I'm approached by someone who thinks they're an independent contractor. They're not.
Yeah. And so what are the barriers for that? Or how do you ascertain? How would a judge or someone ascertain that?
Well, first of all, in Florida, there's elements. Like, for example, people think, okay, if I enter a contract with this company and I say I'm an independent contractor, well, then I'm agreeing to it. I'm an independent contractor. That's actually not true. They would have to meet 4 of 6 elements. Like, for example, you would have to have your own business, meaning like your own tax ID. You can make and break, profit or loss. You could set your own hours. You can't be controlled at all. So in these situations with these rideshare companies, it's not completely free. Where these independent contractors, they still have to adhere to the policies and procedures of the rideshare company, and the rideshare companies have a lot more control than a legit independent contractor situation, in my opinion. And so what has happened just recently, over 10 years of abuse, just recently in California, they started a class action against the rideshare companies. So, and the first one actually went to trial, and the rideshare company won. But now there's like 7 other bellwether cases that they're going to bring, and there's going to be a variety of different outcomes. But the fact is now, for the first time ever, we're able to go after these companies, and despite the fact that the riders or drivers are independent contractors, we could go after them directly.
Wow, yeah. If anybody out there listening, if you have a situation that's happened in a rideshare, talk to Jason Kobal. He's the expert in this space. Reach out to the show, 813-917-1894. We'll put you in touch with attorney Jason Kobal, 813-917-1894. Reach out to the show hotline if you have any situations like that that have happened, and Jason can kind of plug you in to his network and find out if that's going to be something that's relevant. Now, also in the news relating to auto insurance, Ron DeSantis did a post here. It says, due to our litigation reforms, Progressive will be refunding nearly $1 billion to its auto insurance holders in Florida, in addition to the filings for significant rate decreases. Other auto insurance carriers will likely be following suit in the near future. So Governor DeSantis announcing auto insurance refunds and highlights on reform. What's your thoughts on that, Jay?
Man, I did not know that. That's awesome. That's why I love this show. You always have the practical information that the consumers could use. I did not know that's happening. That's awesome.
Yeah, good news, right? Because a lot of times people, for the longest time, a lot of people were griping around the insurances, and then that's what we've done, and some of these actions, the legislature. I remember interviewing Bernie Jacques on the show, State Representative Bernie Jacques, and county commissioners as well, and they were talking about, these are things that took place 18, 24 months ago when things were in the peak of the worst case. Now they're getting better. Now things are starting to come, but so that's the proverbial steering that large ship, right? It takes a while to correct the course in a lot of cases.
Yeah, that's for sure. I feel like our nation as a whole has been doing that ever since Trump took over.
It really is.
Right in the ship.
We're on a winning streak. I mean, that's absolutely, we're on a winning streak. I had producer Todd put this together for me. So before the show, we pulled up, since the latest investments in manufacturing, production, innovation, if you look at the monies that's flowing into our country, there's different estimates out there depending on if it's a left-wing, right-wing source. But Apple invests $600 billion. Project Stargate, Japan-based SoftBank, $500 billion investment. NVIDIA, $500 billion. Micron Technology, $200 billion. IBM, $150 billion. I mean, I've got 20 pages of billions of dollars of investment. Amazon, $20 billion investment. $27 billion from Eli Lilly. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's just so much momentum going on, Jason.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe that President Trump compared it to Biden's 4 years. I think it was on the amount that was invested into our country. Trump's looking at like close to a trillion or something like that already. And Biden wasn't even like 10% of that for 4 years. So it's definitely on the rise.
And what else is interesting, too, right here in Florida, Blaise Ingoglia, he's the CFO of the state, $1.2 billion last year alone. That's the amount of wasteful and excessive spending that the FAFO audits have uncovered so far in just 8 local governments. And then also he recently revealed in city of Miami recently had $94 million of overspending, $61,000 for every new family. And then do you have that one for Doge, Dave? We could put up that graphic too. But have you heard about these efforts? There was one for Florida Doge, but Florida Doge right here locally in Hillsborough County, $279 million of excessive spending. Call it waste, fraud, and abuse, whatever you want to call it. But a lot of times what we're finding, what they're seeing, is that these dollars are going to NGOs. And there's that nonprofit side of these alleged nefarious waste, fraud, and abuse schemes. Jason.
It's disgusting. And those NGOs were getting all that money during the Biden term and crossing the border, literally helping illegals cross illegally into our country. That's what our taxpayers' money was going towards for the NGOs. It's just utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, it really was. So you also practice work comp law, TampaWorkCompLaw.com, TampaWorkCompLaw.com. Tell us a little bit about what's new on that side.
Yes, sir. Brandon, I got sidetracked. I mentioned that because I have to give you credit for this. I mentioned at the start of the show I have a big personal three. Number one, I just told you, was nailing a rideshare company in a settlement that's confidential as far as who it was and the amount, because that wasn't able to be done over the last 10 years till recently, and very proud of that. So that's one of them. Number two, you are very responsible for, because it was through your connections that I was able to actually do work for President Trump, represented as Truth Social and General Flynn. I'm very proud to say I've done some work for the MAGA movement, and I give all the credit to you, Brandon, because I wouldn't have had it if it wasn't for your connections.
Nice.
And then lastly, you asked me about workers' comp. I'm very proud of the fact that my firm, we filed the initial complaint in the case of Patty Davis versus Sheridan, which is the highest level of precedence in the entire nation. It went to the Florida Supreme Court. Florida Supreme Court only takes like 2-3 cases a year. They chose this one as a matter of public importance. They ruled in our favor, so now injured workers are allowed to bill medical providers when they're wrongfully, or are allowed to sue medical providers when they're wrongfully billed. And that is the highest level of precedence in the whole case, in the whole nation, because it's Florida Supreme Court, and there isn't another state that has a Supreme Court case at that level. So that's my big three, and you're responsible for a third of it.
Awesome. I love that. Yeah, good stuff, man. And so I want to be clear on that. So if somebody's injured on the job, work comp you have a work comp medical issue and the medical, whether it's a hospital or doctor's office, continues to bill you, that's where that could be an infringement on your rights, Jason?
Exactly. The very first bill you get is a violation of your rights as an injured worker. As long as you told that facility that you were an injured worker, then it is a violation of your rights just to get a single bill. And more, that could be additional violations. So definitely, if you're an injured worker who you're receiving bills, give me a call, and I'll get you some money.
Yeah, reach out to the show. Reach out to Jason Kobal, Tampa, workcomplaw.com. And we're talking with attorney Jason Kobal here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, longtime friend of the program, and he does a great job for anybody that I've spoke with or we've referred to him. So we got to take a quick break and come right back here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. By the way, next week we've got Florida Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins making his debut on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Many people say he will be the next governor in the state of Florida. So Jay Collins coming on, actually going to be tomorrow's show, I believe it is, coming up on the program. Later on in the show, too, we've got attorney Anthony Rickman, criminal defense attorney, coming up here as well. Also, big news in the state of Florida, free speech and civil discourse, talking about debate in Florida. Governor DeSantis also launching a debate program, and the name of the trophy is going to be the Charlie Kirk Award. Charlie Kirk Award, New College of Florida. We'll talk a little bit about that story coming up here. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rimes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
All-cash offer on your real estate properties, residential, commercial, even vacant land. We'll buy your property cash. No cleanings, no showings, and no hassles. You can even possibly stay in your home post-closing. Call Brandon at 813-917-1894. Submit the email at consumerqb.com or call 813-917-1894. consumerqb.com. We buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com.
I think he's still there. You want me to check?
Pinellas County restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Say hello to Doug Clark, chef and owner Doug Clark, 310 East Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, ourscreole.com. Ours Creole Smokehouse, 310 East Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, ourscreole.com. Excellent food, wonderful ambiance. Say hello to our
he's still
Doug
there.
Clark. If you're facing an insurance claim, don't just trust the insurance company to have your best interests at heart. This is Brandon Rimes, Consumer Quarterback Show. Reach out to rightwaypa.com. Our friend Derek Kobal at rightwaypa.com. Looking to level up your sales game? With 20 plus years of coaching experience spanning across several industries, Lindsay Rimes helps everyone from entry-level reps to seasoned business owners boost sales, improve work-life balance, and retain top talent with customized options catered to personal, group, or corporate settings. Brandon and Lindsay Rimes offer training on negotiation strategy, business development, and more. Let's grow your business together. Call 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Submit an email at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894. 1894.
All right, welcome back. Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We're talking with attorney Jason Kobal here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. A couple of hot listings. We'll jump right back into it. We got a property on Brigadoon. This is property right here in Clearwater, 103 Brigadoon Drive, Clearwater, Florida. 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,536 square feet, 3-story residence with no rear neighbors. And you are just minutes to Clearwater Beach. Great opportunity. Motivated seller here on this beautiful property at 103 Brigadoon Drive in Clearwater, Florida. Another beautiful listing from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. 7991 Lake James Boulevard. This one's Lake James over in Lakeland, Florida. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 3-car garage, 1,890 square feet. You have a world-renowned builder, Ernie White Construction, really well known over in Polk County. Beautiful property, lighter color kitchen cabinetry. People really like that lighter color now. Lighter color flooring there. Beautiful pool, a community pool, and a nice pond area, so you get that water effect on the property. Nice curb appeal. 7991 Lake James Boulevard, Lakeland, Florida. You can see all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And you can see all of our radio show expert contributors at consumerqb.com. All right, so we're talking with attorney Jason Kobal here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So I like that, man. You got your top three. So you got your rideshare case, you got your True Social case, and then you got your work comp stuff going on, that Patty Davis suit. What else you been up to, sir?
Oh man, it's been a great time. I'm very proud to say that our firm we're going to have a record year when the year is done, and this is our fourth year out of the last 6 that we set a new record. So that it's progressively increasing. So I'm very happy and proud of my staff for the success we've had, and we look forward to continuing to help the people of Tampa Bay.
That's awesome, man. Did you happen to do debate back in school? Did your school have a debate team or debate club? Anything like that? They did.
They did in high school, and in high school I was kind of a clown. I wasn't on the debate team.
Yeah.
I remember the debate, and the teacher wanted me to be on it, but it wasn't happening. But at any rate, when you just mentioned that about Charlie Kirk, that's awesome. I didn't know that. That is incredible. It's a tragedy what happened to Charlie, and man, I thought he was going to be a future president, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely would have been. But in his name in Florida, this is from Governor DeSantis, they launched the Florida Civics and Debate Initiative to create opportunities for all students to become responsible, well-informed citizens who will preserve our constitutional republic, not a democracy like they always say on the news. Constitutional Republic. In April 2026, nearly 600 students from across the state will come together to compete at the New College of Florida. And today he was proud to announce that it's going to be named after Charlie Kirk to honor his legacy as the happy warrior on speech and debate. The winner of the Kirk Prize will receive a $50,000 scholarship. Second place, $25,000, $15,000 for semifinals, and the quarterfinalists, $10,000. We got about a minute left. Jason, back to you. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, oh man, I tell you, it's just so sad what happened to Charlie, but what he stood for, and if you watch some of his videos, which now are just classic, the way he went about it was so with kindness, open-mindedness. He was never rude. He would let the other, whoever his adversaries, whoever he's arguing with, let them make their points, and he did it in a responsible, cordial way. And that's, we're all Americans, and sometimes we let the media and the politicians divide us. But we have the best country in the world. We're the best people in the world, and we have to learn how to work together, Democrats and the Republicans, because we have the best country on the planet, and we need to keep it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to keep making these strides, and I believe it is education that will be able to change it. And what a great way to do it than enhancing the debate process through that new college. Jason Kobal, thanks for calling in the show. Tampa Work Comp Law, TampaWorkCompLaw.com, TampaWorkCompLaw.com. Is that the best website for you, Jay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Good stuff, man. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Brandon. Bye.
Coming up, Anthony Rickman, criminal defense attorney here in studio. We're going to go over some of the new laws here on the program. Also, interesting content, more stuff from Florida Doge. $1.2 billion found in wasteful spending. That's all in an effort to reduce property taxes or potentially eliminate property taxes on primary residences here in Florida. We'll talk more about that and more coming up. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rimes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rimes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. Criminal defense attorney Anthony Rickman in studio with us. He's online at the rickmanlawfirm.com. We're going to talk with him about some of the new laws out there. Of course, open carry now. You got the HALO law, felony trespass around sporting venues where you have more than 5,000 people. We're going to talk with him about that coming up here on the program. I want to remind you as well, we have our holiday party, Christmas party coming up. It's going to be on December 4th. And if you're listening to my voice here, you're invited. We're going to have a party over at Crown and Bull, 319 Main Street over in Dunedin, Florida. Santa Claus is going to be there. Come on out, bring the kids, bring the grandkids, and get your photo op with Santa Claus. Put that on your mailing card, your holiday card that you send out. You got appetizers provided. We're going to have the appetizers provided by the Platinum MVP team, America's Preferred Home Warranty as well. December 4th, 6:30 over at Crown and Bull, 319 Main Street. Let's look at our promo for satellite phone store as well. So satellite phone store, a lot of people don't realize if the power goes out, you have issues with your traditional landline, cell phone lines, you might want to have a satellite phone for a backup. Sat123.com/REQB. Satellite phone store, sat123.com/REQB, like Real Estate Quarterback. Make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. I've got a sat phone, and I think it's a really important thing to have. All right, we got a property here at 9914 Ala Vista Drive, Gibsonton, Florida. $1 million listing right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. This one's on the Alafaya River. You have access to the Gulf, 12,000-pound boat lift, 1,000-pound jet ski lift, covered dock. You have solar-powered, fully solar-powered with updated panels in 2023. You have, of course, a beautiful roof here as well, 50-year galvanized standing seam metal roof, hurricane shutters as well. 9914 Ala Vista Drive, Gibsonton, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 1922 square feet. Great opportunity here in beautiful Tampa Bay. We also have 12948 Twin Bridges Drive, Riverview, Florida. This one is a beautiful home in the Triple Creek area of Riverview. 2 clubhouses, fitness centers, playgrounds, tennis and basketball courts, and the interior of this property is absolutely gorgeous. Owner pride shines through here. 4 bedrooms, 4-bath, 3-car garage, 3235 square feet, and you have a split floor plan, 3-car garage. Now, the lanai is gorgeous as well. You have a beautiful view there, screened-in back lanai overlooking the conservation and wooded area. You have a large island in the kitchen, all lighter colors there, beautiful flooring throughout. Great opportunity to buy real estate. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. You can see all of our radio show, TV show, expert contributors, and links to our previous shows at consumerqb.com.
This is God's country.
Anthony Rickman, welcome back in, sir.
Brandon, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir. You been busy out there?
Been busy. Been real busy. Holidays cranking up. You talk about the holidays. It was a busy time for us with people going out to holiday parties.
Yeah.
Maybe having something to drink, getting pulled over, charged with DUI. The big thing, domestic violence. A lot of, people get together, families get together. Crazy things happen.
Yeah.
But especially now with DUI, I talked about it a couple weeks ago with the DUI law changing. Now it's if you get pulled over for DUI and you get stopped and the officer feels you're impaired and asks you to submit to a breath test, it's now a crime in and of itself to refuse that breath test. So people are going to have to make the decision. Do they want to provide potentially incriminating evidence against themselves, or do they want to refuse the breath test?
Yeah.
So if you're ever pulled over, obviously you get arrested, make sure you call an attorney. Call me. I'm always on call. Holidays don't matter. We work 24 hours a day.
You call? Is it illegal to call as you're being pulled over and say, "Hey, I'm sorry, I'm on the phone with my attorney"?
So it's not illegal. However, law enforcement will probably tell you to hang up and allow them to conduct their investigation. Now, you have the ultimate right to remain silent. the most important thing, obviously, is you don't say or do anything that can incriminate you. And whatever you say or can or do can or will be used against you. Let's just say will be used against you, because that's really how it works.
Especially if it's dumb.
So yeah,
so it's smart. It may not be used.
At the end of the day, if you're in a situation, whether it's a DUI, whether it be a domestic situation, whether it be any type of case when law enforcement is speaking with you, if you have the ability to do so, always call an attorney. Put my number in your cell phone, 813-999-0502. If you're in that situation, make sure you call a lawyer before you answer any questions.
Yeah, save that number in your phone. Say it again, Andy.
813-999-0502, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on the holidays.
Yeah, I love that, man. A realtor that answers his phone, an attorney that answers his phone. I mean, that is valuable.
It is.
To have somebody that actually does. All right, so another one that's big, too, is the open carry. There was a district court, the way I understand it, they overturned an older precedent that was set, and so now people can literally open carry in Florida.
Yeah, what our courts have said is that open carry has been the tradition of this country since the onset, and that our law now is that you can carry your firearm in an open manner as long as it's not specifically prohibited at the location where you're at.
Right.
What that means, you can't walk into a bar with a gun in your hip if the primary source of sales is alcohol. Most parks have the designation that you can't walk into that park with a firearm that's exposed. Parties, certain organizations, certain businesses, banks, federal buildings, courthouses. Open carry applies if you're walking in the street or in a non-protected area. Yeah. But if you're in one of those areas, make sure you are aware of the rules. Don't try to walk into a courthouse with a firearm. You'll still get arrested. Don't try to walk through the airport with your firearm open carry. You will still get arrested. If you're at a location that's a private facility that bans you from having that firearm, don't bring your firearm in an open manner to that location. Really just be smart, right?
Yeah.
Be smart what you're doing and how you're carrying it. The reason that we allow open carry, one of the reasons, of course, is because that's the deterrent effect. If I know this person's carrying a firearm, then I'm not going to act in a manner that could force them to use that firearm on me.
Right.
And really, we have a rooted history and tradition in this country of a Second Amendment right to bear arms.
That's
and
right.
really now in the state of Florida, that right applies to bearing that arm on the outside as opposed to just concealed.
Yeah. Wow. What an interesting discovery there. And you think about, too, Florida Firearms Academy, Thomas King, he says, hey, don't do it. Don't open carry. You might as well conceal it for a couple different reasons. Number one, you'll be targeted. You'll be shot first if they're going to do something bad, if they're nefarious. You'll also be targeted for financial gain. They'll say, hey, look, this person drives a big, nice truck or Bentley, whatever it might be. He's open carrying. I'm going to pick a fight with this guy.
I agree 100%. And look, if there's if you have a reason to do it, then I understand it, do it. But again, be smart with it. I've heard stories already where people are, open carrying on a baseball field, throwing batting practice to your kid. You really need to have that gun on your hip while you're throwing BP?
Wow.
I mean, so there's things that we have to do also just to be cognizant of our surroundings, of the people around us. Just because you're allowed to do it doesn't really mean you should always do it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So be smart. And just because you have a firearm on your hip doesn't give you a license to be a jerk.
Yeah.
Okay? Doesn't give you the right to pick a fight and then use that firearm and say, I was defending yourself.
Yes.
Because stand your ground law, that use of that firearm only applies if you're not the initial aggressor.
Yeah.
If you're in a place where you have the right to be. If you're carrying that firearm in a place where you don't have the right to be or openly carry it, then maybe you can't even invoke stand your ground.
Yeah.
If you have the gun, you're acting like a hothead because you think you have that protection and you start an issue. You can't then say, I was just defending myself when I killed this guy.
Yeah.
You have to be smart in everything you do.
Yeah, there was an interesting documentary I watched. I kind of fall for these things sometimes. It's on one of the streaming services. I don't want to say their name because they're a little bit on the woke side. But they had a situation where this Karen continually would call the police on the kids, and the kids, perfect neighbor type thing. And then, there's this event where it all boiled up. Months later, the mom, one of the mama bears comes over, bang, 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 banging on the door. And she's upset. Come outside, bang it on the door. The lady claimed that she feared for her life. She shot through the door. Yep. She shot through the door. And they said, look, we're trained as law enforcement to know if we pull our trigger, what are we aiming for? What are we hitting? So anyways, long story short, she got sent up to the big house for a long time.
I think she got either 25 to life or she got a very big sentence because, she shot first and asked questions later.
Yeah.
And you couldn't see the door. You're separated by the door. If you're separated by that door, then that reasonable fear that they're going to break through that door is dissipated by the separation.
Yeah.
And just haphazardly shooting through a door and killing someone, killing a child, that's not stand your ground. That's not self-defense.
Yeah.
It's just stupid.
Yeah, and she had just got off the phone with the police, too. I think that was a final dagger, too, in her case, is that she was literally 2.5 minutes or so had just hung up with the police, didn't give them time to respond.
Yep. Yeah. And those are all the factors when the court analyzes whether or not your use of force is justified. A court will take into consideration what's called the totality of all the circumstances, your knowledge of the person in the past, your actions as it stood in that particular time period, your reasonable fear.
Yeah.
And then make that determination whether or not you were justified in using that force.
Right. Yeah. If you just joined us, we're talking with criminal defense attorney here, Anthony Rickman, the Rickman Law Firm, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're talking with him about some of the newer laws that have just recently been enacted in Florida, recently gone into effect, and the effects of those things. And I'm your host, Brandon Rimes. What else is next? Did you want to get to the felony trespass?
Yeah, so there's a big one that just came out that really is affecting a lot of people who go to sporting events, who go to concerts, go to assemblies. And what this new law says is that if you are trespassed and you're asked to leave and you don't leave and you're charged with a trespass at an assembly of more than 5,000 people, whether it be a sporting event, a concert, a political rally, then you can be charged as a felon, arrested, placed in a jail, and charged with a third-degree felony, facing a sanction of up to 5 years in Florida State Prison.
Wow.
Traditionally,
if you're asked to leave,
if you're asked to leave, you don't leave, or they trespass you, and they have a trespass in different ways. Even if you're not asked to leave and you're trespassed from a restricted area, you can be charged a felony. Jeez. For instance, multiple individuals were charged under this law as felons for storming the field at the Florida Gators game. The Gators won a game, believe it or not. I guess. That's Seminole fan. I can't really talk much right now anyway. But anyway, so I possibly could have been prosecuted because when we beat Alabama at Florida State, I charged the field.
Wow.
Along with everyone in my section.
Right.
The law wasn't in effect at the time in Florida State. The Tallahassee Police Department didn't apply the law the same way those mean people in Gainesville at that horrible university applied their law. Okay?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the Gators, Florida people who stormed the field after the Gators won, were prosecuted under this new law because they trespassed on the field in a stadium where there were more than 5,000 people. So now you have a law that we see, and it happens a lot in my profession, where a law is created for a good purpose. Right? We have this law, and here's the reason we're creating the law. This law was created to stop people from going to Mar-a-Lago, to stop people from interrupting Donald Trump or political leaders when they're giving speeches. We see it happen all the time, the interruptions in these big rallies, and they're being trespassed. The law was created for that, to basically not limit speech, but to stop these type of protests. Yeah. But now we have this law being applied because of the way it was written in circumstances where I believe our legislature, actually some people who supported this law, said it, where our legislature didn't want it applied. Yeah. They don't want it applied to kids going on the football field at a Florida game. Yeah. They don't want it applied to somebody who's at a Rays game, who's a Yankee fan, who's yelling a little too loud because Aaron Judge just hits a home run, and the person sitting there doesn't like it and wants him escorted out. Yeah. And the guy says, well, I have a ticket license to this ticket. I bought a ticket. Why are you kicking me out? And the security guard says, well, I can kick you out because I have authority to do it. I don't care if you have a ticket. You're out. And he continues to argue. Yeah. And the police arrest you. That's now a felony.
Unbelievable.
Okay, so now we have over policing potentially and over regulating, over legalizing things that really shouldn't be maybe a crime in the first place. A simple leave would be fine. Yeah. But on top of that now, facing the possibility of a felony conviction. And we talk about the right to bear arms. Yeah. If you're convicted under this charge, you lose your right to carry a firearm.
That's a big one.
You lose your right to vote because you're a convicted felon, because you didn't leave a game or you trespassed on a field. Yeah. So, at the end of the day, these laws are in effect. And really, I guarantee you a lot of your listeners didn't know this. Right. Because the rollout was not for this. The rollout of the law was we're going to stop people from protesting at political events, at these rallies, at interrupting things, trespassing at Mar-a-Lago. We have to protect our president. Yep. But now it's being applied in this manner, and people need to understand you have to be careful. If you have too much to drink at a sporting event, you go to a Lightning game, and you're in a club, and you're having too much to drink, and they kick you out, and you don't want to leave, or you trespass in an area where you shouldn't be. Now you're looking at being arrested and charged with a felony.
Man, that's a big one. And we know one thing about the human element and authority, right? Mm-hmm. Speaking about the security guard, you see it with homeowners associations all the time. That's why there's also a movement in the state of Florida, not only to eliminate property taxes, but also to eliminate HOAs. Yeah. And that could get into a situation where, I think HOAs serve a purpose, but again, you have that human element that gets a hold of that authority, and then they run away with that authority, man.
Look, we see it all. And the other thing is, law enforcement has body cams. Security cards don't.
Yeah.
So we're not going to get that evidence as he said, she said. And then when you talk about the authority, that's the other question. Who has authority?
Yeah.
At what point in time is someone authorized to take my right to sit there at a game and cheer in a manner that I feel appropriate when I purchased that ticket? Yeah. And I get a guy who's dropping F-bombs of kids around, but that's different than somebody who may be complained about because you're getting a little too loud at the stadium.
Yeah, I understand that one. All right, quick break, right back. More with attorney Anthony Rickman in studio with us, the RickmanLawFirm.com. Check him out online, the RickmanLawFirm.com. Also online at ConsumerQB.com. And follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at Brandon Rimes 1 at CQB Show. And please subscribe to the YouTube Rumble channel out there as well. We'll be right back. More with Anthony Rickman, Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify. Or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Tired of long lines at the airport? Check out Tampa Bay's premier private jet source. I'm Brandon Rimes for Will Smith Aviation, aircraft management, acquisition, and sales, luxury jet escapes, and packages. Check them out online, WillSmithAviation.com. That's WillSmithAviation.com. Or call the show. I'll put you right in touch directly with Captain Will Smith. AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com for all of your non-woke, American-made products. American values, Christian, conservative American values. Say hello to my business partner, Jim McCune at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Say hello to Shane Socash, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, 4009 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg. Online at David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com for all of your precious metals and jewelry design. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Hey, Brandon Rimes here for Jason Kobal, owner of Kobal Law. Kobal Law has been handling injury cases in Tampa for the past 14 years and has a specialized approach focused on limiting client cost and maximizing client profit. TampaWorkCompLaw.com, TampaWorkCompLaw.com. Jason Kobal, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, personal injury law, and work comp law. Hey, Brandon Rimes here for our friends at TargetSurveying.net for all of your surveying needs. Land surveying firm providing services for real estate since 1992, and they are statewide. Check them out online, TargetSurveying.net. That's TargetSurveying.net. Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rimes. You can reach me at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com. That's ConsumerQB, like quarterback.com. Buying, selling, investing, or refinancing? We would love to talk to you. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. We're talking with Anthony Rickman here in studio, the Rickman Law Firm. We actually are going to look at also coming up here the farm bill that State Representative Danny Alvarez, he's a friend of the program. He recently had put out this new farm bill that's going to be put on the table here. It has some interesting stuff in it. We're going to dive into that here in just a moment. More with Anthony Rickman. A couple of hot listings, and we'll jump right back into it. So we like to feature our real estate properties on air as part of a strategy to help our sellers sell faster for more money. 2547 Lexington Oak Drive. We've got a beautiful opportunity for a townhome in Brandon, right here in Tampa Bay. 2547 Lexington Oak Drive. This one is 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath. You got a 1-car garage. All new flooring, fresh carpet throughout, beautiful lighter color kitchen cabinetry there, stainless steel appliances, beautiful community pool. This is a gated community also. 2547 Lexington Oak Drive in Brandon, Florida. 3222 Jackson Drive in Holiday. is another one of our single-family homes. This one is 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,126 square feet, and you are a waterfront property here, lakefront home in Holiday, access to both Lake Conley and Lake Nash through a peaceful canal. Great opportunity to buy real estate, 3222 Jackson Drive, Holiday, Florida. You can see all of our listings, PlatinumMVPTeam.kw.com. You can see all of our radio show partners, ConsumerQB.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, so let's start with Danny Alvarez, state representative. He put his focus on Florida, freedom, and farmers. He says you're on the right path. That's what the Farm Bill does. 4th year in a row, he's proud to partner with Wilton Simpson, Commissioner Wilton Simpson, on this year's Farm Bill. So he's going to be protecting those. So this legislation will do many things. I want to jump down to number 2 here. So protecting Florida responders from public and the public from dangerous signal jammers, making it a crime to possess, sell, distribute, or use signal jamming devices, technology often smuggled from foreign adversaries that can block 911 calls, disrupt law enforcement and communications, and endanger public safety. Your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, look, our legislature has been very strong, our government very strong in protecting our first responders and our law enforcement officers. And this is a bill that strengthens that protections. At the end of the day, people have things for bad reasons. And one of the things is signal jammer. A signal jammer can prevent people from calling 911, having dispatcher communicate to officers, but more importantly, it could prevent officers from communicating with each other.
Yeah.
So if you have a bad guy doing a bad thing and officers are responding to that location and they have a signal jammer, these officers could be walking into a very dangerous situation with an armed suspect, with somebody who has a unlawful or nefarious purpose, or who has the intent to hurt law enforcement or whoever they're dealing with.
Yeah.
And really what this law does is it criminalizes the use and possession of those signal jammers. In reality, I don't see any benefit or any useful purpose that a civilian or somebody
right
off the street should have a signal jammer.
No, it's like, hey, I'm robbing the bank over here. Let's jam all the signals. Let's go rob this business or whatever.
Yeah.
Ensuring safety on Florida roads, safeguarding Floridians from unqualified truck drivers who can't read or understand the vital road and safety information. I mean,
look, we talked about the horrible accident, the horrible crash where people were killed by somebody who should not have been driving on the roads of Florida and should not have been driving a big rig on the roads of Florida.
Yep.
We saw one over the weekend, another one where somebody killed individuals who was driving one of these trucks.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, we have to protect our drivers and protect our citizens. And we talk about that previous law we spoke about with the signal jammers, and we talk about what the legislature has done to protect law enforcement. The other thing we talked about earlier is a HALO law. And essentially what that means is that if law enforcement or first responders are responding to a location and engaged in emergency services or an arrest, there is now a 25-foot perimeter around them that individuals cannot go within. So if you see law enforcement make an arrest, you're downtown St. Pete, downtown Tampa, or Hyde Park area, you're having a couple of drinks, and your friend's getting arrested, and you walk over there with your cell phone, I want to record this arrest, you're going to go to jail now.
What did he do wrong?
Yeah, and you see it all. I can't tell you how many cases I've seen like this that I have right now where people put themselves in a position to get arrested by interfering with law enforcement's investigation.
Yeah.
And that also applies to, let's say you're driving home after a holiday party and your spouse gets pulled over for DUI. And you walk over to the officer and say, hey, I want to talk to her. And they say, no, step back.
Yeah.
And you don't.
Yep.
You're both going to jail. The person who got pulled over for the DUI and the individual who interfered with the investigation because you got within 25 feet of law enforcement.
Respect them.
And we're going to see if this law actually maintains constitutional muster. Because at the end of the day, we've seen cases in the past that allows you to videotape law enforcement, that allows you to question law enforcement. And now we're setting a bigger perimeter now, a much stricter definition of what a person can do within the bounds of the First Amendment. And I anticipate there's going to be some First Amendment challenges on this because people are going to say, well, I have the right to get closer. I have the right to inspect. And we look at the case involving George Floyd, right? Mm-hmm. And you have the officer who did what he did. And those other 3 officers were convicted because they didn't intervene. Let's say a civilian standing out there and he sees a person who he believes to be injured and he walks up and tries to intervene with the officer. Now he's going to get arrested for doing that. So really, there's a catch-22 in these laws.
Yeah, it's man, you got to be careful on that. You can see both sides of these things, some of them. But Anthony Rickman, always a pleasure catching up, man.
Great having me. Great being here.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming in. And the RickmanLawFirm.com. Check him out online. He's on the Facebook page as well. And got to have a good attorney on your side, brother.
Put my number in your cell phone, 813-999-0502.
That's right. Save that number. Save the hotline, too. Give us a call. We can plug you into our network. Another great show. Hey, tune in tomorrow. We're going to be talking with Florida Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins. A lot of people say the next governor of the great state of Florida here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. And we'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.